Determining your brand values. A value is different to a belief. They may be related and overlap, but don't interchange them as words. There are many definitions and there are regional variations and interpretations. One useful definition of a value to consider is your principles and standards of behaviour, your judgment on what is important in life and the implication of that on everyday living. A belief is an attitude that sometimes is true or right, whether tangible or not. The obvious example is religious belief, and of course there are many different ones. Sometimes beliefs can shape values. In the case of religion, beliefs and associated religious practices and rituals vary greatly, but values held may be very similar. You might feel a little uncomfortable about thinking about the idea of a brand in the context of a social enterprise. You not so much as want to sell things, but rather provide services that help people and communities. You perceive a brand to be a commercial thing and something that's not too relevant to your idea. It's important to think very carefully about this. Really, a brand is only an identity which users or beneficiaries identify with and recognise. It's a quality mark that makes a clear statement about what the user can expect to benefit from when using your product or service. In the context of a social enterprise, where you may be generating income from private donations, events and gifts, or getting free expert help or in other forms, it's also important that wider stakeholders can identify with you and promote for you. However, there is much more to a brand than a logo, a name or a slogan. A strong brand makes a promise that the user or stakeholder that you can be trusted, have integrity and are honest. You will need to think of names and messages, but first and foremost, you must clearly identify the values from which you will build. No matter how big or small your social enterprise is, it's really important that you give much consideration to your brand and values. It doesn't cost much to do, and it will add much more value to your idea than you might realise. The process will also sharpen up your thinking about what really matters and the key driver of what your idea is. Here are a few key values that many social enterprises use. Many will be relevant to you, but try to be selective and rank them in importance. 5 or 6 are enough to build around usually, although others may naturally happen. Here are some of the words: helpful, supportive, accessible, affordable, creative, knowledgeable, honest, trustworthy, discreet, non-judgmental, effective, diligent, fun, fair, focused, frank, integrity, interested, empathetic, emotionally intelligent, connected, educative, and so on. What you will find difficult is selecting and prioritising a few of these, and for most social enterprises, trust will have to be one of them. Part of the decision-making process will relate to the background research that you've done, finding out whether your idea is a good idea, why that's the case, and how you know. Keep your eyes and ears open to information that comes in, even if it's communicated indirectly or implicitly. Make a list of all the values that matter to you and then select the top 5 or 6. These will form the basis of the brand that you're going to build and will inform many operational and design decisions such as brand name, logo, slogan and your web address.